football lovers. Welcome to another episode of Ballchat Podcast, where we review the week's major news in the world of football, aka soccer. I am one of your hosts, part of the Ballchat family. My name is Benton, along with the rest of the family. Come on, Junior, Wagwan family. How are you guys doing? How was the week?
I'm good, I'm good. It's snowing, so I miss Jamaica.
Come on, you're wearing funeral black, to quote Junior.
Hey,
Who dead? Come on, who died?
good morning, Lampard.
Good morning, Lampard. Junior, my brother, how you doing, family?
Boy, I missed so many weeks, but after Manchester United missed so many chances, I had to be here. I could have missed too.
Manchester United had a horrible week, football family, and Junior decided to show up. What a brave man. Regin, I thought you would hide this week, Junior.
We don't hide from anybody.
Football lovers, you know how we do it. Ball Chat Podcast, all about reviewing the week's major news in the world of football. It's a live and interactive show. If you're following us or watching us on Ball Chat YouTube page, Ball Chat Facebook page, or Flow Sports YouTube page, you can take part in the discussion. We have a special guest join us on today's episode. We have the former captain of St.Vincent and the Grenadines, the Vincey Heat, join us on today's show. A man who coached with LA Galaxy setup. He's also the inventor of Volley King. He played in CONCACAF tournaments, big CONCACAF tournaments, World Cup qualifiers against Mexico, Costa Rica. Played in the Shell Caribbean Cup, in the 1990 Shell Caribbean Cup. So we're going to pick the one and only Mr. Desmond Morris joining us. Desmond, how you doing, Brethren?
Hi, I'm doing fine. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you guys, and thanks for having me.
Yeah. Desmond has a wealth of experience. We're going to pick his brain and talk about the landscape of CONCACAF and Caribbean football with Desmond at the top of the show. We'll also discuss ballers and bugs, highlighting the most impressive players and unimpressive players of the week. We'll discuss Thomas Tuchel, now the man in charge at Chelsea. And we'll wrap up our show with Yard Ballers, aka highlighting Jamaican footballers applying their trade overseas. So let's get to it, football family. Let's talk with Desmond for the first part of the show. Desmond, quickly, you played in the 90s and you're heavily involved in coaching in today's setup. How has the game changed? What have we done right in the Caribbean, and what have we gotten horribly wrong and since you last played?
All right, I just want to digress a little bit to say that I was not the captain of the Vinci national team. Maybe you might want to interview him next. That guy is Ezra.
My apologies.
Ezra Hendrickson.
Yeah, Ezra Hendrickson. Yeah.
But I want to start off first with a little prayer. Can we do that?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
This prayer is called the Football Player's Prayer. It goes like this, and it's written by yours truly. Dear Lord, today I pray my best game I'll play. The ball will move my way. My passing will be on today. Defenders and midfielders in disarray. This I pray, Lord, bless me this day. Help me beat defenders left and right, volleying the ball with all my might. My lobs and chips to be precise. The ball at my feet, goalkeepers think twice. My moves and feints look at my touch master. Inspire my teammates. They help me so much. Lord, today I pray this nervous feeling will go away. The ref mediates the right way. To skip out of tackles, no injury today. Help us to win today. Keep the fans at bay. This I pray. Lord, dear Lord, help us in each and every way.
So you're a footballer and a poet at the same time, Desmond.
You don't know, a poet, coach, everything.
Yes.
So your question was, what are we doing right and what are we doing wrong?
Yes.
Well, let's talk about the landscape, right?
Yeah.
My view on the landscape of football right now is that it's about pathways. And if we look at the pathways of a youth player and a senior player in the Caribbean, we need clear defined pathways so that we can compete at the next level. The senior player, he goes senior player, he goes club, he tries to go amateur, and he tries to go professional. The junior player in the Caribbean, The pathway is maybe club, and the multiplicity of youth programs that we have for kids in the Caribbean is not enough because it's singular in nature. It's more like club. In the States, in retrospect, you have rec, you have travel, you have premier, you have academy, you have state, and you have national. So it's difficult for a player from the Caribbean, so to speak, to make it to all those pathways because, first of all, we need investment, we need better structure, we need youth programs, we need youth programs, we need also coaching education. I think coaching education is important because the Caribbean player is a unique player in that our coaching module has to match the DNA or the characteristics of the Caribbean. For instance, if you look at the U.S. system, it's a mixture of German and Dutch. And plus you have that American nationality that's aggressive, physically strong, lifting weights, scientifically. So I think that because it's so hard, we don't have a professional system in the Caribbean, our own little system, which would help our kids navigate these pathways a little bit more. I think that's one thing that's hurting the Caribbean players, just navigating that pathway. Because right now they have to go into environments, foreign environments, and sometimes our kids are not mentored, they're not disciplined enough, and they fall down. But so we have to figure out who is the Caribbean player. Who is he? Identify who's the Caribbean player. What is his weakness? What is his strengths? And how can we help them get there? And one of the things I think is mentoring is a big part of the whole deal also, because we don't have ex-footballers reaching back and mentoring some of these young players. That's basically it. And the last thing I would like to say is soccer is a very modern game right now. Right now, you need at least 131 skills. Yeah, I checked it. To be a totally functional player who can be coached to the next level. So I would say, and I'm going to stop it a little bit, I would say just creating the competitiveness of for instance, I think that we've done it wrong. We built senior football before we built youth football. Now, Jamaica's beginning to figure it out. They got a good youth structure. They got players all over the world. I did the research.
Yeah.
I did the research. There are players all over the world.
Yeah.
So we talk about closing the gap with the international guys. Let's close the gap with the three leaders in the CONCACAF, which is Mexico, or US, Costa Rica. Other Caribbean nations need to come up and be as competitive, be as good. Even the teams in the islands, like St.Vincent St. Vincent has been good because, we had Jamaica.
Yeah.
But we need the lower level players, national teams to come up so that they can knock off one or two of these teams and make it easier. Because look at us, what's our success rate of qualifying for the World Cup?
Yeah, it's very
one
low,
World Cup, miss two, another one.
Yeah.
So we really have to combine our resources as a Caribbean people. I'm talking about investment from the musicians, the this, the that. We need our own MLS team. What about that? Our USL team. So that, in short, is a few things that needs to be done. How do we compare with the African player? Are we technical? We're fast. What is the African player transferring into his game to make them more marketable?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In the initial stages, in the NASL, Steve David, all these guys used to be the crux of the foundation of the NASL. And I think that there's three national teams that are really doing good with the youth programs. I would say Jamaica, Grenada, St. Kitts. Who else? Trinidad is a little bit up and down, but they have the potential.
Yeah.
But the last thing I'm going to say is, how are we measuring up to the USA in youth development? Guatemala lost 6, Vincent lost 6, Jamaica lost 6 recently. And I know they've turned the curve. We love everything American. So let's find out what's the model in America. Let's pick a good model for our countries, a good youth model, and not what CONCACAF is putting out. That those coaching documentation is I don't think it fits the Caribbean format. I don't think it's intense enough. I don't think it's meaty enough. If you look at the U.S. coaching system and their model, and their thing is coaching education. They've done a lot with coaching education. So that's in short.
So we need to develop something, tailor something more for our players' strong skill set. I will let Junior and Kamon chime in here in this discussion, because I know they also have great thoughts and great questions relating to Caribbean football and great opinions relating to Caribbean football and CONCACAF in general.
I shout out to everybody watching right now on Flow Sports. You know, we're talking to Desmond Morris, former St. Vincent and Grenadines player. So show everybody from Flow Sports, big up if you have any questions. Now, Desmond, you spoke about the youth setup. Now, I am no big baller. Newsflash, I think I'm a general, but only in my own house. Everybody laugh at me, right? But when I migrated to the United States, I played 1 year. I came to the 12th grade, and I played 1 year of high school football in Florida, right? And the 7th grade, the Pepsi teams in Jamaica, that you have Pepsi, Colts, and Manning Cup. The Pepsi team, the under 13 teams in Jamaica were more skillful than what the 12th grade team would be in Florida, right? But for me, I sat down and when I analyzed the situation, even at that stage, I never had to be fit to make the side. I was comparable. I was very good compared to the other players. But somewhere along the line, and I can only talk for Jamaica, when a child leave high school setup, which is very competitive compared to the US setup, when they leave high school and now go to secondary or collegiate or whatever, it's almost like the competition change, where in America, NCAA is 20 times more competitive than what a Jamaican high schooler is going into leaving high school. So when you talk about the youth setup, I can only think about that. So my question to you now is, you did reference, which I think is a great idea. Why not have the Caribbean have a USL team? Well, my question to you is this. When you talk about Africans and how Africans apply their trade and get stronger and better, they generally go to France to play in League One, right? You have so many competitions there that they can branch out to. Why should the Caribbean players try to play in MLS? Why not try to play in Brazil? It's the same distance.
Well, I could answer that question, and that's a great question. So remember, I said that the Caribbean countries are what? You got Dutch, you got French, you got English, you got Spanish. So we all a mixed mash of nationalities, right? So within that model, you have to figure out, and you asked a question that I was going to get right into. You have to get with the schools of thought of football. So the schools of thought is the system. You got the Barcelona system, which is created by Johan Cruyff, which was the Brazilian system in a little bit, and you have the German, you have the Dutch. Now, all Caribbean people, we need to figure out which style are we. What style do we want to play? What style is going to bring out the best in us? Is the Brazilian style going to fit us? Some of us are English. We have English in a way, so we're a little bit more, I would say, athletic and running. We have everything that we need, but we have to figure out what style of play, what's the philosophy, what's the coaching, who we're going to go under. Are we just going to just go by fly by night? So we need, because Jamaica did well when they did some sort of the Brazil system with René Simões. That worked for some time, and that was the foundation. So I'm saying, yes, you have to assimilate based on your culture, your temperament, your mentality, your psychology, your athleticism. So these things have to direct you into what philosophy or coach in your country is going to go with. What style of play you're trying to emulate. I think that would be a good way to figure how do you what playing style matches your characteristics. as a country. Now, one other point I want to make. Within all of that, I'm a youth football guy. I'm of the opinion that you have to build from the bottom before you get to the top. So if you look at our systems of youth play for these kids in the islands, if we want to close the gap, either we bring in the coaches to us, or we transport all the men to play D1 soccer. You get Jamaica, a lot of guys playing D1 soccer. And what does D1 soccer do? It gives you the rudimental fundamentals with the athleticism and the coaching. Because as you can see, coaching education is very important. But my suggestion for the Caribbean is, if you want to build up the youth, you have to have interleague play. And Caribbean people got to start spending some money on football now. You have to have interleague play between the kids so they can travel to each island, or you play 3 games in the island. There has to be that other level of competition for these kids to step up to be the real groundation for what we need to go to the next level. Otherwise, we're always going to be playing catch up. Because if you look at American youth model, when you U14 American play against Caribbean, what is the problem? Some of our teams can't even get to the halfway line. That is a problem. We need to address that big gap. Because if we fill that gap up, for sure we're going to have players coming through that are technical, that are tactical, that are physical, and that are mental. And that's how we're going to close this gap. We have to close it from the bottom, from the kids from the bottom. And that's what I think.
I kind of disagree when we use the US as a model when it comes to youth soccer. Because if you really run through US soccer, you really don't see a high success rate with the transition from youth to the national team. How many youth star players do you see representing the US national team? You really don't see a lot of them. So what they're doing, they actually, when you look at US, you're more think that they are really one of those teams that you're talking about that is actually starting from the top. Because they are bringing the players who don't necessarily play youth football, right? I can tell you a couple of players who started up U17, U20, U23, and where you don't see them in the national team setup. So I would use US as a model. That's just me. I would more use Panama. I've always been a big fan of Panama, because I've seen players who have played U17, U20, U23 transition to Panama. Talk about the success of Panama is different, but they're using the same model that you are championing. So hopefully we can see results in Panama's standing. When it comes to Jamaica and the youth system, we don't have enough time from a cutboat. I am not a fan of it. We don't spend enough time grooming our players. And you're correct. When our boys, our young men, go and play different countries, you can see the difference in quality. They're not necessarily faster than us, stronger than us, but tactically aware, that's not where we are. So we will have to get an identity, you're correct. But I think identity is not formed nationally. I think it is something that the coach interjects. So, for example, our national team now, we don't have an identity. When Winfred Schaefer was there, you could see what he was trying to do, but we still didn't have any identity. We don't have it with Tapa. And I don't know of any Caribbean team that really have an identity. I think Curacao is working on it. And I think we might see little adjustments with Curacao. But in terms of Jamaica having an identity, I don't see it. And I think that's a coach's touch. And I'm interested to see if we can evolve into something like that. That is just me. But I just think that Panama, and maybe you can say Costa Rica, kind of developing their youth players to come up to be national team players. Not necessarily Jamaica. And USA, I wouldn't even say USA. Because if you look at even tonight's game, you really don't see a lot of the youth players in it. And then what the US national team and MLS is doing is not necessarily taken from the youth system, like the U23s or U20s, they're taken from the college. So it's kind of, I don't know how we're going to fix it. We're not a Brazil, we're not a Germany, so I don't know how we're going to really fix it in the Caribbean.
All right. So let me respond a little bit on that aspect. The U.S. model. The U.S. model is several levels. There's the national level, right? There's regional, there's state, there's national. The U.S. has such a massive population of soccer players. For you to expect a lot of these players to make it to the other level, it's based percentage wise. The system with the national players, right? Because you have regional, you have state, regional, national. These are all the divisions. So a lot of these players that play in the because that's how they split up the national program. National program is split up between state, regional, and national. So a lot of these players do fall out of the cracks normally, but I'll tell you one thing: the players that are playing regional and national, under 14, under 16, they get in college scholarships. Okay. So the system still graduates kids. There's a pathway. I'm saying we don't have a pathway. Okay. The Americans have a pathway. And if you don't want to follow the model, you don't have to follow the model. But they're successful, and we're playing catch up on them for a long time now. And when we think we catch up, because they have so many players, they can churn out so many different players on their national teams that can play. Let me ask you one question. How many national teams in the Caribbean can beat the top 10 college teams?
Not a lot. And then we'll talk about that too, but also talk about the financial aspect. We don't have the financial.
But I'm saying there's different systems that we can take. There's recreation, that's a system. There's travel, where the kids play against against each town, right? There's club. There's Premier Club, which is all these other clubs and all the best kids playing on a Premier team, right? You understand? And then they go from Premier to state. Mm-hmm. Then they go from state to regional to national. And on top of all of that, you have college. Yeah. But the reason I'm saying this because I have a lot of experience in the system. I have won basically 4 State Cup championships, 2001, 2002, 2000 for U14 boys. Of that group, there's about 14 of them that got college scholarships. So if you can't play pro, go get a scholarship for education. Yeah. And it really contributes.
Yes. But that's the thing too. That is the setback for the Caribbean. We don't have it. And listen, I know it now because my son played from high school and he did ODP. We don't have those things in Jamaica. We don't have those things to see the players. If you don't play high school football, then you're not seen. And usually, even the best players that you have out there who don't play for one of these big top schools in Jamaica just don't make it. Jamaica is not ready for the Messi kind of player. They're not ready for the skillful midfielder, the nice tiki-taki winger. Jamaica don't want that. We want fast, strong, blocky boots. And until the system change, with some financial backing, we're going to play catch-up for a very, very long time. So I see what you're saying. But there's so many different layers. Mm-hmm. And as I said, I am really watching Curacao because they're putting the things in place. They're getting the big coach. They're bringing in the big players. They're investing money in their system, something that Jamaica is not doing. So we might just fall right behind Curacao and stay behind them for a very long time.
So that's Dutch.
But one of the main thing, and we're speaking with Desmond Morris on today's episode, former national player for the St.Vincent and Grenadines national team and coach with the LA Galaxy setup. The elephant in the room, or one of the concerns, is also about long-term investment, right? For this sort of return on investment. A lot of these nations in the Caribbean and in Central America doesn't have the long-term commitment to these programs. I mean, Curacao is trying it out now, but how long are Curacao investors committed to this project at hand? We saw the same thing in Jamaica. If you cannot get qualifications to the big tournament, you cannot get a return on that investment, you're pretty much hands are tied because you have limited resources financially and you don't know if this thing is going to work. So how do you address that issue, Desmond? From
Financing?
The financial concern, because you don't have a lot of money and you have a limited time for this return on this investment. And who's to say that this investment will bear fruits in a few years? I mean, i.e., so this is why a place like Jamaica or Trinidad, etc., they keep hiring a new coach every 4 years for this coaching cycle.
Well, I think it is a problem as far as financing programs, because soccer is a financial commitment and it's an investment in players. I think what we have to get going is, I think we have to really, the private sector and the public sector, we really have to get to a point where we can help to finance some of these things. I know on my end, I do a lot of collecting stuff and sending it home for kids, but it goes to more than that. It has to be some sort of investment. I think we don't have a lot of natural resources, but we have people resources. And I think at some point we will get a big star. But for right now, we just have to dig deep. I think, well, let's talk about, 401ks, financing through sponsorship from businesses, if we can get that. But I also think that it's about bringing the coaches and looking at the coaching programs that work, that you can implement without spending a lot of money, and helping these kids, because I think the foundation has to be set. And unless we get to this point where we understand that soccer is big business, look at how much money Messi's going to get, probably 575 million, and if he comes to the US, another 500. So why have the Caribbean people not? I mean, we're all guilty of not investing in a lot in our youth, and I think we have to change that mentality, and hopefully that's going to change. And that's what we have to pray for. But for now, the good coaches that are mentors and want to give something back got to go back in the community and do some work.
Well, there's one. You see, on this show, we have a term we call patty shop, right? And we realize, we see patty shop. We call the JFF, the Jamaica Football Federation, patty shop, and that term seems to just gravitate around. So I'm going to put a disclaimer out there right now. This comment I'm about to make is coming straight from Junior and the Ballchat family. We have a model that works. We saw in cricket, where cricket is a dying sport in the Caribbean, right? And then all of a sudden, somebody get up and say, yo, T20 can really bring a hype, right? We see India, IPL, everybody coming up with this. I even hear T10s coming out now, right? What did the Caribbean do? Yo, let's start a T20 competition. Forget about the one day, forget about the test match, bring in T20, right? Football is a sport that everybody in the Caribbean, football is a sport that everybody in this region loves. Central America, South America, forget about North America, forget about US, forget about Canada. CARICOM is sitting there. Anybody that's listening in CARICOM, you guys stole my patty shop idea. Don't thief this idea without giving me my credit. Start a stupid league. Fund it. You don't have to fund it. Tell every Caribbean island, I know in Jamaica we tried this about 20 years ago. There was a regional like team, like what, Cornwall, Middlesex, and Surrey. And those teams were supposed to travel through the Caribbean and play. CARICOM, tell every Caribbean country we need 2 club teams. Yeah, every country have a FIFA stadium sitting there with goats that eat the grass. Put the stadium in use. Make the people and build a team. Caribbean Airlines, nobody is buying plane tickets right now because of COVID. Guess what? You can be transporting these players back and forth for free, and you are going to get tourists to come to your island where you have a beautiful beach. It's easy money. We're sitting on easy money. Stupid people at CARICOM. Start a league. Start a 3-month league. Start it in winter. It's this simple. Start it in the winter. Start it January. It done March. And at the end of March, yo, by the way, if you like how Haiti's club play, Haiti has a great beach in June. Come to Haiti in June. Absolutely. Come to Jamaica in June. It's so simple.
Yeah, let me piggyback on that. You asked a good question. How can we get financing? Well, all the reggae artists, all the soca artists, they love football.
Yep.
Some of our more wealthy people have to start putting money in football. Dexter Dobbs, I used to coach Dexter Dobbs. I'll say it right now. He used to play for me right in Westchester. I used to drive him all the way up to take them from Bronx, take them from Mount Vernon, drive them up to Westchester, and they play. And Dexter was a wicked baller. He could jump out of the sky. I like Dexter and them. Can we get some money? You know, and the thing is that about the pathway, the Caribbean kids need a pathway. They need a professional league, just like I played with Lenny Taylor. Yeah, he did not play with Lenny Taylor. I played with Lenny Taylor with the first Caribbean professional league. We played against Waivers. We played against Kingston Lions. I played for Hyrule Lions. I played against Tigat. I played against Hagler. I played against Zadie.
That is the league.
In the office.
Yeah. That league.
All over. We need the league again, and
yes.
we need to support it. And you're right. Caribbean countries need to support a profession. Otherwise, they're going to keep coming to the stands, and we're not going to be winning. We're not going to close the gap. And they're going to be looking at the players. Right now, the players don't get treated well enough anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So they don't get paid well.
I think Mr. Anderson's trying to do another league. How much support he gets for that and around the Caribbean, but that is a need.
Yeah.
Come on, good point.
Yeah, but then for us now, so we have this new guy in charge that he is getting, he is getting the support because he says his budget is 100 million Jamaican dollars to pump into our Premier League. And so far, he's at 80% of that. So it's going to be interesting to see if he changes the dynamic where there's between high school and just like how you have high school, like you have ODP, you say you have state, you have whatever. Yes, so just like how you have the high school, right? Then you have something in the middle, and then the players them can play the young players because our big man football, a Brookfoot, whatever. So you have like a little U23 league.
Absolutely.
And transition to the Premier League. So if Chris is listening, Junior, see if we can throw out my idea.
He's
so that's
listening.
a good idea.
So
if we have steps and if we have levels, then we really can move. It don't make no sense to take a 14-year-old boy and throw him in with a 25-year-old.
No, age appropriate.
So you don't need the private academies. You need something that allow the kid who is skillful, who can walk off the street and go in and do it. So we have ideas and we have people out there now who just coming in and seem to have the money because they have the capital because when they have the money before. Mm-hmm. So let us see what happens. But it's a good idea if the Caribbean just come through and just support each other because
exactly.
we look good. Yeah. So hopefully Trinidad can make us feel proud tonight because they play against USA.
Yeah, Trinidad versus
Stop it. Stop it.
Junior, you were saying something?
Come on, stop it.
Yeah,
we know what's going to happen to you. I told you guys a couple months ago that US team is going to be.
And US team is an amazing team right now.
Yep. And I told them,
young kids.
A couple months ago. But they are Barcelona fans. They can't see past $500 million.
Okay. Let's get to some of the major.
Yes, okay. We don't talk to you. But Mr. Martin, you need to come back. You need to come back like later down in the year after we watch a couple of games and a couple of things go on in the world, and then we can talk again to see how far we move.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we want to pick your brain again, definitely, Desmond, because like you have a wealth of experience in the space and played at all these respective levels. Now let's try to hit some of the major news in the world of football. We're pushing up against the clock. We have 23 or 25 minutes or so left. Let's highlight the most impressive players of the week. Desmond, I know you're a Manchester United fan. Watching football this week, who was your most impressive player and why? I.e. the ball of the week?
Well, the thing is that I wasn't impressed with the way Man U plays, and I'm not saying I'm a one-shot pony. I only look at one team. But
right.
I would have to, and maybe I'm remiss in this, and just because I'm a Man U fan, I think I'd have to go for me, because he's playing really well and he's helping Man U's Bruno Fernandes.
Bruno Fernandes been excellent. the man who is triggering Manchester United. Junior and Cameron, who do you guys have as a ball of the week watching football? Junior. Come on.
Oh, Junior, go Junior.
Oh, come on, go on.
I have to give it to Salah. So Salah scored a very good goal against the runner played today. It was very, 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 very good. So I'm going to give it to him. He has brace. And I think he's on what? 16 goals? What's Salah Depon? Him a lead, whatever. I'm about 15 or 16. One of them.
I don't really know. Come on.
So Salah, and I also want to give a shout out to Brighton with the win versus Spurs.
So you're giving a shout out to Brian. Junior, who is your ball of the week, family?
My baller on the pitch is Ruben, the centre back for Man City. The man brings so much balance and it annoys the neighbors, but fear is fear. He has Man City playing. Fernandinho can finally play like himself because of Ruben. Laporte looks like a sensible defender because of Mr. Ruben himself. So I got to give it to Ruben Diaz. And also, I don't know if I have to give it to NBC. I don't know. But they made history this weekend. The first female commentator on NBC Sports, Karen Carney.
Yes.
And she commentated an exciting game. And we need more of this. It's been long enough, especially for an American station. It should not have been this long for a female commentator to be commentating a professional football game. Because the U.S. women's soccer team 20 times better than the men's team. So I don't care about the men's team. But those are my ballers. So I don't know, NBC, because I'm taking NBC Sports, I kind of vex a little bit, but them eased it a little bit by bringing in Miss Karen, which I really enjoyed. So.
Really enjoy. And Desmond, who do you have as your bug of the week watching football?
Who is your bug of the week?
My ball of the week is Palmeiras for winning the Copa Libertadores final champions of South America. And I also want to give a ball of the week to Chaperones, our Chape, for winning the Brasileira B. And if you remember the 2016 plane crash, the Chape team lost a few players to the fact that they have been able to rise from the ashes, so to speak, after that tragic accident and to win the Brasileira B to actually move up to the next level in Brazilian football. So ball of the week to them. Now, Desmond, let's get to the bug of the week, the unimpressive players of the week. Desmond, who do you have as your bug of the week?
Unimpressive player of the week?
Unimpressive.
I would say...
Manchester United.
Yeah, I would say my friend Mr. Rashford. I'll explain why.
Yeah, okay.
Because he's clogging up the lines on the right wing. And when Bissaka's overlapping, he's hesitated. He's learning. I mean, he's doing well. But I think he hesitated a little bit too long with that goal and flim-flam a little bit and flick the foot. So I know he's taking a little bit of heat, but I know he's going to bounce back. My team's going to bounce back. So I would say Mr. Marcus Rashford.
Marcus Rashford Jr. Is Marcus Rashford also your bug of the week, Junior?
Come on, your time.
I want to give it to Spurs and Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale, for a big money baller, he looked so off the pace today. He looked out of sorts. He looked like he has not been training like he has been playing golf. So he did not look like the Gareth Bale that we know he could be. And so Spurs get it, the overall team, because they handed Liverpool their first win of 2021 on Thursday. Come back now on Sunday. Come give Brighton their first home win of the season. So Spurs, Josie, everybody get my bug of the week.
Spurs is a gift that keeps on giving. Junior, as Cameron's bug of the week, Junior, and who is your bug of the week, Junior?
Let me tell you something. The Marseille fans that set fire to the training facility. What the heck? Why? So them get my bugs. There's one bag of idiot just going there throwing flares all over the place and say, just come on, guys. I know I might get some heat for this, but I don't care. The people who are not crying. The people who are making the racial abuse that players are getting. And hear me out. The people who are making this as big of a story as it is, stop treating racial abuse to the players like it is something new. This is something that's been happening a long time. Social media has given these idiots a bullhorn to racially abuse and profile players, and they will continue to do it. In my opinion, the way we're going to stamp out racism is just like putting out a big fire. Remove the oxygen from the room. Trolls are trolls for a reason. They need that attention. You are giving some idiot the reason now to say, hey, you see people talking about my tweet on CNN. I racially profiled this guy, Marcus Rashford, and just take the fire or take oxygen out of it. And those idiots, those trolls that are racially profiling these players, just because they don't score a goal, just because they give up an own goal, be a human, be somebody with confidence, and go to somebody and racially just say to somebody's face, you are going to come out feeling a lot better afterwards. I promise. Look at me. Come to me and call me the N-word in front of my face. You are going to feel a lot better. All right, so the one of them are my books.
Junior, let's get you some of the quick comments on Flow Sports and on Ballchat page. What are the family saying on the chat, Junior?
Michael Starboy saying, Junior, calm down. I owned you back in the days. I don't recall that. Michael Starboy saying, Salah is his baller. Jason Frame is saying, baller of the week is Leno, big keeper. Arsenal fan. And Jason Frame also saying, the bugs of the week is the whole Spurs team. Arsenal fan hating against Jose, as expected. And Starboy Michael saying, his bug of the week is Real Madrid.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. What about on Flow Sports?
On Flow Sports, big up to Alternato. I hope I pronounced the name properly. Because CR7 and Messi make mistakes too. Oh, I guess they're having a fight with on Flow Sports. So come on, stop kicking the people and face spirit, man. And people, if you want to get back at Come On, she is a Barcelona fan. Messi get $500 million in 5 years. I'm just giving you ammunition.
Let's get to the major news in the world of football. Thomas Tuchel, it's a whirlwind week. Thomas Tuchel is now the man in charge. Frank Lampard sacked at Chelsea. Good move. He got an 18-month contract. He says he's not worried about this. What do you expect from this Thomas Tuchel hire? Desmond, you're the guest of the family.
Like I said, there's a lot of turnover with Mr. Ibrahimovic's team. He's not doing well. And a lot of the Chelsea fans basically wanted Frank Lampard out. I just think it's tough because a lot of professional players, they have a professional career, and it's tough to transfer into the management aspect of managing people, and it takes a little bit of time. And I think he had issues with getting consistency with his first lineup, and that fluctuated, and hence the demise of the team. Tuchel's, I think he brings a lot of experience from PSG, and he has a system that he's going to try to use. They might turn around, but the league is so up and down and competitive right now that it's going to be hard. I just think that when you're a soccer coach and you're a soccer player, continuity is important. And, seeing that person there all the time for a year, 2 years, it's like, 2 years at Chelsea for these guys, the maximum turnover time. So the team is still going to reflect some ups and downs because they have to adjust to him and his style of coaching. But I think he's got some good individual talent that should be able to still come out. And he can, if he's really as good as he says he is, he can turn it around.
Turn it around. Just snap his finger. Come on. You're the Chelsea fan. Thomas Tuchel was let go at PSG right at Christmas. He's been, quote in the past, has not been a fan of the politics of a club. But here he is now in charge of Chelsea, which is somewhat a political club. Your thoughts on Thomas Tuchel getting the charge, the seat at Chelsea?
It's only a political club if we lose. Let's put it out there. Okay?
Most clubs
Nobody
are a
cares about
political club
anything
when they
but winning.
lose.
Hey, the Russian don't care about anything but winning. And I've always said this from Lampard got the job. We know why Lampard got the job. Lampard was not ready to be handed the keys to a big time club like Chelsea. He did nothing at Derby County. Allow this man
Come
to get
on,
a little bit more.
Derby was sixth when he took them over, and he left with them being sixth. I mean, things didn't change.
My point exactly. Bring Derby up, make them lose on them in them promotion race, something. But to hand this man the keys to a big club like Chelsea, we saw where it was going to go. And Lampard he wasn't flexible enough. He was just stuck in his ways. Granted, I was thinking that Mason Mount would be on the bench, but Mason Mount come on the pitch, come prove me wrong. So maybe there's something to Lampard's madness. But I just thought that after a while, he didn't have any more ideas, and he wasn't the man for the job. For our coach now, Big TT, the first game was kind of lackluster, and you have to give him a little bit of time to wet his. This game, listen, it's only Burnley. Burnley had their first shot on goal in the 84th minute. So I'm like, it was only Burnley. Calm down.
Okay.
But I'll give him some time. He's a big enough coach, even though he's coming from the Farmers League. But he's a big enough coach for us to get. Yeah, it's big enough for us to get some results. Is he the German whisperer? Is he the one who's going to turn around the Kai and the team of Werner? It's still yet to be seen. But just like how we were willing to give Lampard some time, let us give TT some time to kind of adjust. We know the Russian is only, 18-month contract? We know the Russian. If him not cut it, he got to go. And I'm okay with that.
Junior, quickly, your thoughts on this hiring?
Yeah, big up to Iraq Entertainment said Lampard was hard-headed. He had no man management skill. Reynard Lewis said Lampard wasn't starting the right team. And Alternator said that he made some good transfers. Havertz, Werner, Chilwell, etc.
Alternator said Leon Bailey for me. What, your baller for the week?
There's a question out there that said that who is the most exciting and best young Caribbean player? That's a question to the group. So think about that. Both in the heads. But so we answer that question before we leave. But Tuchel, why was Tuchel let go at PSG? He couldn't win the Champions League.
Do not stay out of our business. Do not stay out of our business. Can you have some struggle?
No, anybody can coach PSG in France and win League One. The person who's supposed to be sitting down now saying what the hell is going on is Allegri. Why isn't Allegri the coach at Chelsea? Now, there was some foolishness last couple of weeks when the writing was on the wall when we heard, maybe Werner needs somebody that speaks German to help him play better. And we laughed at that stupid comment. And look at who they hired, a German coach.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. I'm giving Tuchel 12 months. 12 months. And then somebody going to come in, Pulisic, gone. Mount, gone. Werner, gone. Havertz, gone. Trust me. I've given them 12 months.
Okay, Junior, thoughts on...
I'm 18, can contract at 18.
Yes,
before right after the transfer market.
All right, let's get to games on the field. Manchester United had a horrible week, Junior. A really horrible week. They lost to PSG. They lost to Sheffield United, and they tied to with Arsenal. Your thoughts on the week for Manchester United as the table is up?
I personally don't think it's a horrible week.
Okay.
You guys want to troll us so bad.
All right, my bad. It wasn't a horrible week.
Let me tell you something. The Ballchat family, the members of the Ballchat family are all sensible. The Manchester United fans are sensible people. We know Manchester United is overachieving right now. The only thing that we have proven when Ole takes the team to the number one spot for any period of time in the Premier League is that Ole is learning how to coach. Now, on the field, I think, sometimes it's try not to lose one game twice. I think Manchester United, the players had a learning experience when after defeating Liverpool, they took too big of a step back. And my thing to Ole is this. Why use the same team basically to play against Sheffield 4 days after playing against Liverpool twice and beating them in the FA Cup? Why not give a... That is a game where Daniel James supposed to play, Lingard supposed to play, Mata supposed to play. Why are we playing our best? Why is Pogba playing 3 games in 7 days? And we expect them to win? Come on, man.
Because Pogba is in the shopping window. Man, shop himself. But I roughly saying Chelsea, Mums, this is the Burnley team who just turned over Liverpool and Aston Villa. So he's correcting me when I said, it's only Burnley. Okay. But then again, Burnley only had 1 shot on goal in the 84th minute. So
that shows how great Thiago and company is.
Desmond, your thoughts on Manchester United? You're a Manchester United fan. Your thoughts on the week that you guys have? You're sitting second in the table. Are you guys overachieving?
I think right where the league is precarious right now because everything is so interrelated with the competitiveness, and the league can go left, it can go right, but we've struggled back and we've came back and we're in a good position right now. I just think our inconsistency in playing and putting balls in the back of the net can really hurt us. I think Ollie needs to get strategic with his starting lineup and how he's going to rotate it and how he's going to bring fresh blood in and keep it still competitive. I think we have a problem building out of the back. It's very predictable, and they take too slow to build up. You can see them taking a year and a mile to get out. Well, I don't want to talk about Spurs. Spurs and them have their defenders are just 6'6" and too tall. They're not flexible. But Manu with Ollie, he's figured something out. He's got some great playmakers. I think he needs to start Cavani and give some Cavani more playing time. We need an out-and-out winger. I don't know where that's going to put Rashford, but we're in a good place, and I think we would keep our momentum. You know who the typical top 4 is going to be. It's always the same tradition.
Yeah.
The same top 4 teams. Yeah. I don't know about Chelsea this year. If they can keep a coach, they might get somewhere. But Manu's going to be competitive because I think when Bruno and Cavani and Pogba, you need 7 functional players. The 4 can be runners, but they have some depth, and hopefully they stay within striking distance and keep the thing competitive and keep it going. But it's the EPL. And it's exciting. One day you're up and one day you're down.
Yeah. One quick question. Because I hardly get to speak to sensible Manchester United people on this show.
Thanks for the compliment.
Let me take the opportunity now. Cavani striking, and with Cavani's ability to run, in my opinion, Daniel James can be proved fruitful for Manchester United with a Cavani. I think Daniel James suffered because he doesn't have a striker. Marshall is not a striker to me. Rashford is not a striker. Cavani will run with him, put himself in position. What do you think about that? What do you think about the wing play at Manchester United?
Well, I love wing play, and that's what the English league is all about, right? So, if I was Mr. Solskjaer, right? And you know what? They just have to give me a job and I'm ready for it because I can do it. I would take Radford and put him as a wide right. I'll put him wide as a wide midfielder because he clogs up the traffic, but he needs that lane to run. Daniel James, yes. And you know, he has to learn how to use his players, max them out, and get the players that have chemistry on the field so that you work easier. You're not working as hard when you have chemistry. Look at Pogba yesterday making that nice back flick. Wow. Flicks, tricks, and gimmicks. That's a touch master system. But I think he has some play that he can use with Daniel James and use him in a creative way to bring him in the team and make them more effective. Now, I want to say this Jesse Lingard have Vinci roots. You know, I'm from Vinci, right? Jesse Lingard's grandparents is from St. Vincent, the Grenadines, you know. So I'm sad that they're gonna be shipping him off. But his demise has been, I don't know what's going on with him, but I think it's family business. But we're going all the way to the end, man. So all you detractors and all you haters, watch the ride.
Everyone goes to the end, Desmond. It's not about that. All the teams going to the end. All right. Quick hits as we review the week's major news. Liverpool defeated Spurs and West Ham. Has Liverpool right the ship? Desmond, do you think that Liverpool is right the ship?
Right, Liverpool right the ship. Yeah, they're the other red team. I'm not a typical English fan, but we don't really like the Scousers.
Yeah.
However, we do admit that they are veritable pain in the neck.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be right to the last. I think they turned it around. I think the three forwards needed to get a breath of fresh air. But Famani is more contributive than anyone thinks, and they're right back in the mix. I think they're ready.
Yeah. And come on, and Junior, your thoughts on Liverpool's week, and Leicester City seems to really run into a juggernaut today with Leeds.
Did you just say come on? Did he just say a juggernaut in
I
Leeds?
just said a juggernaut because Leeds ran through Leicester City today.
That's because we enjoyed the game today. Don't get carried away.
Leeds
I don't know what's wrong with you.
Leicester City.
I said it before. I said it before that everybody panicking about Liverpool just need to take a step back. They right the ship, and they showed us today. You know that we talk about heavy metal football. The attacking was on point today. I think Klopp was complaining because he has 4 strikers that are out there injured, and they just signed. Who did they sign? Them sign.
Did they sign a defender?
No, they signed Ben Davis from Preston for 2 million. Okay. For £2 million. So that shows you how desperate they are to kind of shore up the back line, and they don't want to spend a lot of money because they already have quality. So I'm not concerned about Liverpool. I think it's going to be a fight between Liverpool and Man City for the title this year, which is good for me. Bonamanu. And then with Leicester, I don't know. You know, Brendan needs to figure out something. Something's not working. They can't just rely on my guy, Vardy, to do all the work. It's not going to be a party all the time with Vardy. So, I'm not worried about Liverpool.
Big up Prime Minister says Benton is drinking the Leeds Kool-Aid. Prime Minister, is that only Benton drinking? It seems like Cameron might be drinking Kool-Aid too.
That's not it. Hey, that's not even true. Stop it. Just stop it.
Oh.
We like good football. This morning, they hear me complain, Chelsea game is boring. Remember? And then I said to you that Leeds playing good football. I am not a fan of Leeds. I wouldn't go out there and buy a Leeds jersey. I would not spend my $90 to buy a Leeds jersey. But I enjoy good football, and it was good football. Junior, stop it.
All right. So
he's a cult. He's a Man U cult.
She's not drinking the Kool-Aid. She's drinking the sweet tea, and it's a little bit soft. What is that, right? Now,
is the Shackleberry Fin me a drink?
See that? Big up to Tiger right now, watching right now. I know Tiger is a Liverpool fan, true and true. But Tiger is an English Premier League fan. What Thiago has learned today in the win, what Thiago has learned today is that the Richardson tackle is not a Brazilian going up against a Brazilian turned Spaniard. That wasn't a one-off. Thiago is learning right now what it takes to play in the English Premier League, and teams are not going to respect you because you have a pretty touch. Liverpool.
A pretty touch.
That's audience, a pretty touch. And I say that because Thiago is the engine that is going to steer Liverpool towards challenging for the title. And that tackling get to there, and the way him roll, and the way him get up, I'm telling all you Liverpool fans right now, enjoy it. You guys not smelling second.
At least the man adjusting. Iraq said Man U cannot win the league. We know this. Only Junior alone think it. We know this. And he's saying that Tottenham is on their way down. Okay, slow your roll. Tottenham is not going to be relegated. So just slow your roll right there. So
that's extreme. As it pertains to Man City, they play Liverpool next Sunday. Your prediction of that game, your thoughts? Liverpool being 4 points behind Man City. Man City, of course, have a game in hand on the rest of the top 5. Does Liverpool need to win this game at Anfield next Sunday?
Liverpool winning. I just gotta win. It's gonna be a tie 2-1. They're gonna rub out Raheem Sterling. I mean, like rub him out.
Surely he can't start Raheem Sterling at Anfield. He struggles there.
Okay, so I'm gonna rub him out. So Man City gonna win 2-1. Sorry to my husband.
You're right.
So Desmond, what do you think?
My prediction is I just want to mention something. When I grew up in the islands at 5 years old, 7 years old, I didn't know the difference between backing Manchester United and Manchester City. So for the next 4 or 5 years, I was backing the two teams. I finally get to find out. I'm going to say that because the two teams play a similar style of an open game, counter-attacking, attacking, possession. I think they play 3 forwards each. Me not go for no Scouser. Me have to go, but even though them are me backyard neighbor, I'm going to Manchester City.
You know Manchester City.
Yeah, because you know why? Because I think the last game they really got a shellacking. Liverpool did, and there's no big home team advantage now. Everybody just have to play. See, now it's separate the men from the boys in soccer. If you need fans to play, hello, intrinsic or extrinsic motivation, I'm going with Man City because I'm a...
Yeah, Junior, your quick prediction on that game.
Real quick, I'm going Man City comfortably. I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
Not because of the man you love. Against Sheffield, Pep tipped his hand on how he's going to play against Liverpool. Kyle Walker did not overlap one time against Sheffield.
Okay.
He sat at home. That is Mane's left wing. Fernandinho, I am going to introduce you to Mr. Thiago. You go and just be in his back pocket, and anywhere if he come off the field to drink water, you're going to see Fernandinho. Ruben Diaz, don't worry about something there. Don't worry about Bobby Firmino. Just clean up Salah, because I see Ruben run down my boy from I can't remember his name right now, from Sheffield.
McGoldrick.
Yeah. Step for step.
Yeah.
So go and introduce yourself to Salah. And I don't know who on Liverpool going to stop Foden, who on Liverpool going to stop Neves, who on Liverpool going to stop Gundogan. Who? You give me one person on Liverpool that can stop them right now. Henderson? I'm stopping the foolishness.
Yeah,
Liverpool.
Klopp's going to have to figure out a way. We're pushing up against the time, but we want to touch another topic quickly before we go, family. It's always great. Lionel Messi's salary. It's something that Junior definitely want to talk about. It's been reported that his contract was leaked. Barcelona is in debt, in almost crippling debt. Messi's earning about $500 million over 4 years. I mean, where does this end? Every week it seems like there's something with Barcelona and Messi's controversy.
First, me? Okay. So who we going to blame? I see everybody outraged at Messi. You go on job, you get the job, them offer you 10 million. What are you going to say? Oh no. I don't want I'm going to say, oh no. I don't want to take 10 million. Give me 5 and keep 5 million for yourself. Where's the outrage?
But come on, this is the same player.
Listen,
this is the same player.
They make 70 million euro every year off Messi's jersey alone. The man bringing revenue. He's the face of Barcelona.
Enough, apparently.
Yes. We can talk about the money. It is ridiculous, but we can't blame Messi. We have to blame the people with the ridiculous figure.
That is true. I say, yes, we blame the people. But at the same time, this is the same Messi who wants to win Champions League. He wants to win everything. You cannot give one player so much money. What are you going to invest in the team? Barcelona cannot even sign Eric Garcia right now. Eric Garcia costs a bag juice. That's how much Manchester City is at, and Barcelona cannot afford this.
But that's not his concern. And we're going to talk about Barcelona wanting to win. Really? They got rid of Luis Suarez, who is the leading goal scorer now in La Liga, and give the number 9 to Braithwaite.
But that's a Braithwaite they can't afford.
I mean they can't afford. Listen, Messi and Suarez are best friends. You are going to tell me if Barcelona say, Messi, we want to retain Suarez, but we need 10% of your salary. You think Messi not going to do for next Suarez stay?
Well,
listen. Listen. As a young lady, you get a fool, you take a fool money. So we see.
All right, Desmond and Junior, your thoughts on this salary? And if Lionel Messi is going to stay at Barcelona, he has to take a drastic pay cut.
I think it's an astronomical amount of money. And it's what are you giving away? You're giving the cost of winning to keep Messi, because he obviously is going to have to take a salary cut so that they can get some players, because I think Barcelona is going to run into problems. I mean, what do you value most, winning or making money or losing money?
His contract has $117 million loyalty fee in it.
Yeah,
loyalty fee. What kind of foolishness is this?
I don't know.
You pay a man $117 million to be loyal?
I
think it's going to affect the whole
Messi. But we still can't blame Messi. We have to blame the stupid board. And on top of that too,
God.
If you're talking about getting rid of Messi, you have to pay him out the remaining of his contract.
Well, the contract ends in June. Come on, you don't have that bill will be off the books.
So it's weird then. So now all of a sudden, why is this being released? Is who are trying to sabotage the ball?
Yeah, somebody is released.
Not out in public?
There are 4 copies of the contract allegedly available. Of course, one is to Messi, one is to Messi's law firm, one is to La Liga, and one is to Barcelona. So somebody, I suspect, is Barcelona that's leaking the contract.
But Benton, on the flip side, it kind of shows our people in our region and our young players. You got to be motivated. You got to work hard. I don't know if they're gonna get to that height of their trade, but look at the money that's in football, and exactly. How can we help our people and our young players to get some of this pie? I mean, I think we really have to help these young players, and a big part of them, sometimes they have the skill and they have the mentality, but they need mentoring help. They need examples. They need the training. They need the education as far as nourishment and nutrition and scientific training. Soccer is not just going out there and playing on the field. You need team psychologists, team psychiatrists.
Yeah. And there's.
I'll tell you why you need team psychiatrists. Because
Junior, I know you're waiting to chime in. Junior, go ahead.
Yeah, but that's good. I'm good.
Big up to Desmond for being so brave. I will not get involved in no Barcelona camp. With $500 million, Messi cannot only censor Ballchat, he can censor me permanently. So I am going to keep my mouth shut. Messi, you are the greatest. You are the king. You are the boss. You're better than Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm going to go out and say it. You're the greatest ever, Messi.
You can't blame Messi. I will defend Messi. You can't blame him. And yes, you have players who are good and talented. Like in the USL, I'm making $25,000 to the year. So when you hear this, you're like, it's ridiculous. But it's recognition. They get back 70 million euros on jersey alone for him. So
I can't blame him.
You cannot blame him, Benton.
I blame Messi.
I was going to leave it alone, but we are living in a pandemic.
Yes.
Right? The cost to create a COVID-19 vaccine for one dose is $19.50. right? With Messi's contract, he can
Okay,
vaccinate
Julie, they can cover the cost of something.
641,000 people. You know how much people in Jamaica.
Yeah, that is.
That is ridiculous. That's speaking of players, Caribbean players who want to aspire to this great heights of earning not necessarily Messi's lucrative salary, but something that's familiar, are in that ballpark. Winifred Schaefer, former Jamaican coach, did an interview and he said the players are not mentally ready enough in the Caribbean. And among other things, I want to hear your thoughts on this, Desmond, and among the football family. Winifred Schaefer said that it seems like we have the island, we have the breeze. How are there more players from Cameroon that are aspiring or have gotten to play overseas because life is more difficult, whereas in the Caribbean, we're chilling, we have our beach. We should be moving our players on. Your thoughts on that assessment? And he had quite a very strong opinion of what's going on in the Caribbean.
Well, I just spoke about psychiatrists and psychologists. It is true. We have technical, physical, tactical, mental, and these are the concepts of football. So I've been in the Caribbean a lot. Just think of this. Kimon, when you come to America, you have to play in rain, snow, summer, everything. What does that give? Mental toughness. When you go to college, you got to play in snow. I played in snow. So the Caribbean players,
unless you live in Florida.
the Caribbean players need to be taken out of their comfort zone.
Lot.
Work with.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me finish.
Yeah.
Work with mental toughness, fatigue. It's just like training. There's a reason they call it training in football, because you train like an army guy. You run in rain, you run in sand, you run in mud, so that when you play, because when we played against Honduras, guess what? It was a sunny day and it started raining. So you know what happened? We were dominating the game, but when it started to rain, guess what the Honduran players were doing? We were scooping the ball out of the water and volleying it. We were kicking it through the water. That goes mental toughness, environment, training. Yes, they're not mentally tough enough.
You can't blame our boys for that if we're not used to rain and scooping the ball. And you can't blame our boys for that if they're not used to snow. We don't have snow. When it touches 68 degrees in Jamaica, them pull for sweater and socks.
What about when the US take them and put them in the snow to play?
Yes, exactly. That was tactical. That was but this is the thing, yeah. But this is the thing too. And I understand what you're saying. But it goes back to our young players with no support whatsoever. So you're in high school, because I know a couple of them. You're in high school. The coach's main focus is to win games. So I don't care if you want to use your less dominant foot, which is a left foot. Him want to know, so when you kick the ball with your right foot, is a goal. Him win the trophy. Him don't care if you want to eat porridge for 3 times for your nutritional support. So it's different. So we can blame the young men, but we also have to blame the people who we put in position to mentor, support, and coach them. So it's a two-way street. I see some players who I know can do well overseas, but when you talk to them, no, I don't want to go Israel. No, I don't want to go Finland because I don't know the language, I don't know the food, I don't know my family. But we can't blame them too much because they were not given the support.
His mother cooking.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Yes.
You're goal setting, but you're not developing.
Yeah, yes.
It has to be a developmental plan, a pathway. Where does the kid get when he starts at 7 and he's a serious talented soccer player? He's a little Messi too. Where does he go from 7 to professional? There's so many pathways. There's so many things in there that he has to go through, and we need to make it available for our Caribbean players. It's like you're sending them to a war and you're saying, "Oh, well, we don't know what's in the war," but you know what's in the war.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
So that's what the mentoring is.
Messi, but when Messi moved, his entire family went with him, right? And he got the support. So what's our guy name again? Keith Kelly.
Yeah,
I
Keith
don't know if
Kelly.
you remember Keith Kelly. When Keith Kelly at 15, 16 had the opportunity to go to PSG, if Keith Kelly should come on the program, I'll have him talk about it. But he was there by himself at 15. You're never going nowhere before in your life. Never never go anywhere. So you are sent all the way to PSG by yourself. You don't know the language, you don't know the food. So we need a balance where our boys and girls are supported. You understand what I'm saying? And then talk about that when you do an interview, mercy.
We need a balance, and this is why Caribbean football is very emotional. We're way over time. Junior, your comment, Junior. We're way over time before we go to yard ballers. Junior.
I have a question for Desmond, and I'm sorry, I have to do it. Desmond, put yourself, when you were 25, and you were playing for St.Vincent and Grenadines, if a German coach that went to Cameroon and coaching Cameroon and coaching some little fufu Caribbean island come out and said, I don't know what's wrong with the players in the Caribbean, they are not mentally tough. You as a 25-year-old, not you as a seasoned veteran right now that have all this experience, how would you have reacted to that comment at that time?
Well, Junior, I think when you grow up, if you get into the right situations and the right environment and the right teaching, because I'll tell you why I'm saying this, you will know yourself. That's why the Caribbean baller has to know himself. When I tried out, I was always a walk-on.
Right.
So am I mentally tough?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think, can we teach kids to be mentally tough? Yes, we can. But I know it's a negative thing coming from a coach that says, "Oh, I got no touch," or you know what I mean? That's like Zlatan telling my boy he's got no touch. But from that perspective, it could be a negative connotation. But our whole lives we've been turning around negative connotations and making them into, because when somebody tells you something like that, you have to turn around and make them know that you can change this and you're not that person. So I think it's our job. We have a big job to play in the Caribbean, guys. The mentoring aspect is not there. And our kids need to know, like these soccer moms, and I would say these white soccer moms. Sorry, I apologize. They support their kids right too. They drive them here, drive them there, and until the kid drop down and the coach cut him, that's it.
But so that was where my question, because I think before we get to Winifred Schaefer's comment, I think we all as a Caribbean people need to take a step back and say, why is a foreigner coming in and saying that about our players? And the answer to me is simple. Not because a little brother, a little 12-year-old is playing amongst 18-year-olds in a business house, six-a-side football league, we should now crown that person as the next Cristiano Ronaldo. We should not hype these young players to think that they are bigger than they really are. Me and come on, always fight about this. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree. But I think we're putting these young players up too soon before they reach anywhere. And they feel like, as a community baller, you are the best baller ever. We need to cut that pedestal down a little bit, in my opinion, because, and you know, Desmond, and come on, Noah, Benton is supposed to know, in the U.S. system, especially in high school, they have a thing named conditioning, which is 3 months before you even touch a football. And the first thing...
Hell week.
Eh?
They call it Hell week.
Yeah, and the first thing the coaches tell everybody is you have to be able to run a mile in 4 minutes. Some places...
2 miles under 12.
And that, well, for we, it was 5 minutes. We had to run the mile in 5. That means running, and for all the people who don't know, running around a 400-meter track in under a minute per lap before you can even touch a football. But we are giving some little bang belly youth we can pile a man or salad a man and say, you're ready for football. Let me tell you something. The biggest shock for me was when Neil leave Jamaica and come America and stand up on a big field. And a brother said, make a run. And when Neil look at the space where he want me to run, I say, run, go where? That's not my style of football. We learn to play football in a 6-yard box. Americans learn to play football from sideline to sideline.
18 to 18.
In the 18 plus. Yeah. So
yeah, but there's a difference. But there's a difference between hyping and encouraging. And that's where we need to understand and differentiate. You can encourage somebody who is with potential to be the best footballer that they can be, versus we hype them and tell them, say, you already reached when they only score 6 goals in quarters. Or they're at the top scorer in the Jamaica Premier League. Because when you go USL, which is the low tier, when you call League One, you're ordinary. So I understand. But we have to support our young players and we have to lift them up too. And we have to say, listen, you are just as good as, but you need some work. So I like Coach Schaefer. He's a very nice person. But there needs to be a balance. And while we have to put some of the blame on the players, we also should put the blame on the people who are responsible for elevating the players. We talk about football all the time, and that's my biggest issue. But next day, because Benton have a fika we're running over.
Benton, let me just say this.
Yes.
Soccer is 80% physical and 80% mental and 20% physical. Yeah. So when we travel to Mexico and we have to play in front of 70,000 people in a stand with 15,000 riot police, that's where the mentality comes in. Can you play on an empty stomach? Can you play after traveling for so long? That's the problems that us Caribbean players have. I'm not saying that he's right, but there's something going on with the mental aspect of the game that we need to address. And those things are addressed in academies, youth academies.
Yeah. We're going to have to get you back on, Desmond, because this conversation have to continue. We have to collaborate and work to address some of the issues that we see. Quickly, come on, let's get to Yard Ballers, highlighting Jamaican players. Quickly, you got 2 minutes, come on. Deshaun Brown scored for his team in India.
So Deshaun scored a brace in his team's 2-1 victory. I think that was his first start. So Deshaun is really, taking off. I just saw something that says Darren Mattox has signed for Al Merrikh in Sudan. So I saw that from the English version of Al Merrick's website, Twitter account. So if that's true, Darren is 30 years old. So let us see, what he can do. Yes. Same place that Alva's gone. Alva's power signed for Al Hilal in Sudan.
Or Qatar or Saudi Arabia. I thought it was...
It's Sudan. Sudan.
Okay.
Who?
I thought Sudan, there's a military issue.
No, I think that's South Sudan.
Okay.
They're saying that North Sudan is good. So Alvas is there, and now it's saying that Darren Mattox is actually in Sudan. So they can't confirm it, but that's what I got from the club's Twitter account. It says Darren Mattox is a red. All right. So Addison Swabian ace Roma defeated Fiorentina 4-0 in the Coppa Italia quarterfinal first leg. 19 goals in all appearances for Khadija Shaw this season. She scored in her a brace in her team's 5-0 victory. Bobby Reed Cordova now has 7 goals for Fulham. It's Fulham, but okay. Good job, Bobby. Lamar Walker, formerly of Portmore United. That mistake is Fulham. Lamar Walker of formerly of Portmore United, and Jashawn Anglin from Harborview have signed for FC Miami in USL. They now join Sean Franklin and Devon Speedy Williams. I think that they released Brenton Griffiths. I don't know if Brenton is going to be re-signed, but it looks like it's a all-star Jamaica team down in Miami. Mm-hmm. Kevin Frater scored a wonderful chip for his club in Israel. They won 1-0. If you have not seen it, go on Kevin's Twitter account and look at the goal. It was really, really good. As I said, Alva signed for Al Hilal in Sudan. I heard that it's a deal until the end of the season. And Houston Dash have signed Reggae Girl, Denisha Blackwood on a 1-year deal. So that's good. Reggae girls are finding clubs. So hopefully they get sharp and stay sharp whenever the qualifications roll on.
Yes. Yeah, excellent, excellent. Desmond, thank you for joining us. Thank you for really appreciate you joining us. It's a lively discussion. We want to have you back on the show to go down memory lane and talk about your playing days in the Caribbean Cup, etc., etc. How can people get in touch with you? I know one of your products, the Volley King, is widely being sought after. How can people get in touch with you?
Actually, I have a little thingy over there. They can reach me at by email, and I'll share my email. It's thetouchmasters@gmail.com, and they can reach me on that. My Facebook is Des Morris, and I'm on LinkedIn and all that good stuff. The Volley King is going to be coming out the end of March, and it's about just a little bit about the Volley King. It's based on all the karate kicks that we see in karate movies in the islands growing up. And the King of Volleys, I think, is Esnarantes do Nascimento Pelé. There's 10 types of volley kicks, and this covers it. And heading is a volley. I have a Vimeo on the Volley King, and it's an art. If you notice, when people hit volleys, they look at Pogba's volley. When you connect a volley properly, it scores, and it just takes constant repetition. I just want to say that I'm proud of Jamaica because you got 30 players in the USL, 7 in the EPL, 7 in League One, 11 in League Two. You got 3 in Germany, 1 in Australia, 2 in Belgium, 1 in Belize, 1 in Canada. So Jamaica is going to close the gap. You got 1 in Costa Rica, 1 in Curacao, 1 in Denmark, 2 in Egypt, 1 in Finland, 1 in India, 3 in Israel, 8 in Malta, Jamaica. I mean, I'm proud of what you guys are doing.
Did you call Sudan a while ago?
Yeah, I didn't call. Vietnam 5, USA 33, 4 in the MLS, 33 in the USL. No, wow. Ireland 1, none in St. Vincent Pro League.
Yeah. You know what though, there's one. I must say this. I'm gonna put it out there from now. So come on and Benton, please remind me. In March, we're going to make sure we have the Volley King. We're probably 3, 4, 5, depending on when we talk to Desmond. We'll put it on the spot, Mr. Myers. But we're going to open just to help with the Caribbean football development. Any team that is listening right now, or if you know anybody that's an owner of a team or a manager of a team, we're going to have a competition. Not a competition, just something out there where we're going to offer 1 Volley King to a team in the Caribbean. We don't care where you are. We at Ballchat are going to make sure we can get that product to you. It will help with the development of the youth, because that's what everybody on the show is about, helping to grow the product, to close the gap like Desmond says. So I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to speak it into existence. There's going to be at least 3 teams in the Caribbean that's going to have the Volley King in training. And you guys get it, know where it's coming from. Big up to Desmond. We're going to support our own. We're going to build our own people. So Desmond, we're going to get that out there, right?
I just want to thank you guys for having me on the show. You 3 guys are awesome. Like I told Benton, blogs and all this infomercial, all this information that we can get. The game is now on the internet. It's a virtual training and all that kind of stuff. But we bleed football, and we need the Caribbean kids to close this gap. We need to close this gap. We need to get to the World Cup more consistently. And I think if we join as a community and realizing that we are strong with each other, because we have to help each other. All the islands have to help each other close the gap and get close, because that's when we're going to kick off the normal. And it's all right to dream that you can beat the Mexico. It's all right to dream that you can beat the USA. You just have to dream, and you're going to make it happen. And it's going to happen. I don't know if Trini going to do it tonight, but we'll see.
All right, we're
Again.
supporting Trini tonight then.
Again.
Supporting Trini.
Yeah, man, we have to.
Yes.
Because we are the #1 soccer podcast in Trinidad. But Trinidad people are loving it. But they're not beating America
Supporting
today.
Trinidad
No,
tonight.
I'm gonna try and get Noah. He's getting his first call up for the national team, for Trinidad national team today. I'm gonna try to get him on to talk to him. He's a very nice young man.
Big up to Noah.
Benton, if you need some other people that just as energetic and visionary and wise, I got some friends that
We're going to talk. We're going to talk.
Yeah, man.
Talk off here, trust me.
And Desmond, once again, once the Volley King comes available, we're gonna get it out to teams, as Junior said. You know, just let us know. Football family, thank you for joining us. Sorry we ran over a bit, but if you want to connect with us on social media at Instagram at Ballchat Podcast. We're on Twitter at Ballchat1. We're on Facebook at Ballchat. You can email us at ballchatpodcast@gmail.com. We want to thank the wonderful Desmond Morris for joining us today. Big up to the St. Vincent and Grenadines family, the Vincy Heat. Come on, Junior. We're going on the road now, family.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Harry Boss.